Maintaining account book is not just a legal requirement, but a practical necessity for efficient financial management of a company. So, it is extremely important that these account books are maintained in a proper format with 100% accurate financial information. But who is exactly responsible for ensuring this? Well, the burden here lies on the auditor appointed by the company. Hi, I am Sugandhanan, a startup advisor at Setindiabiz, where we provide tax, compliance and IPR services in India. In this video, I will explain every aspect of the appointment of an auditor in a company, including the need to appoint an auditor, legal provisions for auditor's appointment, complete process for appointment of auditor, intimation of auditor's appointment to the ROC in ADT-1 and documents required for filing ADT-1. We have a lot to discuss, so let us begin without any delay. Why is there a need to appoint an auditor? Well, as I explained in the beginning of this video, an auditor is responsible for conducting a detailed audit of the company's account books. The main purpose behind such an audit is to verify the documented figures of the account books with the actual real-time data to make sure that the accounting details of the company are 100% authentic and accurate. Based on the audit conducted, the auditor prepares an elaborate audit report stating his opinions on the financial positions of the company, and shareholders rely on this project to analyze whether their interests in the company are secure in the near future or not. So, preparation of the auditor's report becomes the primary responsibility of the auditor. But aside from it, the auditor also performs certain additional roles like ensuring that the company is complying with the provisions of the Companies Act, identifying and reporting any upcoming financial risk in the company, recommending preventive measures to avoid such financial risks, providing insights to enhance the company's growth and profitability, and finally, reporting any fraud or anomaly identified in the company's financial statements. With so many tasks at hand, can the need to appoint an auditor in a company be debated any further? Certainly not. Moving on to our next question, what are the legal provisions to appoint the first auditor of a company? Section 139 of the Companies Act deals with the appointment of the auditor. According to this section, it is absolutely mandatory for all types of companies registered in India to appoint a practicing CA or a CA firm whose majority members are practicing CAs as their statutory auditor. The appointment is made once soon after the incorporation of the company and then subsequently in all the upcoming financial years. So, the auditors appointed immediately after incorporation are termed as the first auditors of the company, whereas those appointed anytime thereafter and termed as its subsequent auditors. But how exactly are these appointments made? Let me explain. Process of appointment of the first auditor. Except for the first auditor, all the other subsequent auditors are appointed by the shareholders of the company in the annual general meeting. As far as the first auditor is concerned, his appointment is made by the board of directors in the very first board meeting conducted after the company gets incorporated. Since the first board meeting must be held within 30 days from the date of incorporation, it is obvious that the first auditor must also be appointed within these 30 days only. As far as their term of appointment is concerned, it extends only up to the next annual general meeting of shareholders, where the first subsequent auditor of the company gets appointed. But what if the board of directors, for some reason, fail to appoint the first auditor within 30 days of incorporation? Well, in that case, on the 31st day itself or as soon as possible, it will have to inform the shareholders of such failure of appointment, and then the shareholders will become responsible to appoint the first auditor within the next 60 days or before the expiry of 90 days from the date of incorporation. To appoint the first auditor, you need to follow a few simple steps. Obtaining consent and eligibility certificate. The first step would be to obtain the consent of the concerned individual or firm for being appointed as the auditor. This consent will have to be taken in the appropriate consent form. We have provided a sample format in the description for your reference. After obtaining the consent, the next step would be obtaining an eligibility certificate from the concerned appointee. In this certificate, the appointee will declare that he is legally eligible for such appointment and that his appointment is being made in full compliance with the provisions of the Companies Act. Both the consent and the eligibility certificate may be given by the potential auditor in one document. Once these two documents have been obtained, you can proceed to the next step, which is calling a meeting of the Board of Directors. Convening a meeting of the Board of Directors. The notice of the board meeting will have to be sent to all the directors 7 days in advance. The meeting will be held on the date mentioned in notice. In meeting, a resolution for the appointment of the first auditor will be introduced by any one director, and all the other directors will have to vote in favor or opposition. If the resolution receives majority of votes in favor, the resolution will be considered as approved by the board, and the concerned CA will then be appointed as the first auditor of the company. No approval of the shareholders will have to be obtained before such an appointment. The process of appointment of the first auditor ends here, but an essential ROC compliance related to it still remains. What is this compliance? Let me explain. Intimation to the Registrar of Companies. Immediately after the company has appointed its first auditor, an intimation or information will have to be sent to the Registrar of Companies in Form ADT-1. The form can be filled online and submitted on the official website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. We will discuss the details and documents needed for the form later in this video. For now, let us proceed with the due date of filling the form. So, Form ADT-1 will have to be filled within 15 days from the date of appointment of the first auditor. But what if the company misses this due date? Is there any option of late filing available? Before I answer this question, let me first discuss the application fees for filling Form ADT-1. You can clearly see here that the application fees depends on the authorized capital of the company. So, if the authorized capital is up to Rs 1 lakh, a fee of Rs 200 will be applicable. For capital between Rs 1 lakh and Rs 5 lakh, a fee of Rs 300. Between Rs 5 lakhs and Rs 25 lakh, fee of Rs 400. And for between Rs 25 lakh and 1 crore, a fee of Rs 500 will be applicable. If the capital of the applicant company exceeded Rs 1 crore, it will have to pay a fee of Rs 600 for filing ADT-1. Hope you are now clear about the application fees required for submitting Form ADT-1. Back to our previous question, is there an option for late filing available for ADT-1 form? Well, yes, there is, but with the additional requirement of late filing fee. The late filing fee further depends on two factors. Number one, number of days of delay, and number two, normal fees applicable for filing ADT-1. Let's go through the table once more. So, if the form is filled within 30 days from the date of expiry of due date, the late fee applicable will be twice the normal fees. Accordingly, for 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days, and 90 to 180 days of delay, a late fee 4 times, 6 times, and 10 times the normal fee will be applicable. Finally, if the form is filled after 180 days after the expiry of due date, the late fee applicable will extend to 12 times the normal fees. Now that we have discussed almost all the aspects of filing Form ADT-1, our last discussion will focus on the details and documents required to be submitted with the form. Details and documents required for ADT-1 filing, beginning with the major details required for ADT-1. The applicant will have to select the category of the auditor, whether it is a CA or a CA form, and enter its basic details like PAN, membership number, personal address, email ID, and contact number. Also, an account of the auditor's previous appointments, as auditors in other companies, will have to be submitted. Finally, the date and duration of his current appointment in the applicant company is entered before ultimately proceeding to the next stage of the application, which is attaching all the necessary documents. The documentation process can be completed with the submission of only 5 documents. List of documents required for the appointment of auditor, written consent of the auditor, eligibility criteria signed by the auditor, copy of the board resolution affecting the appointment of auditor, copy of intimation sent by a company to the auditor mentioning all its details, and digital signature certificate and then of the authorized director signing the form. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Hopefully, I have covered all aspects and answered all questions on the appointment of the first auditor in a company. But if you still have any doubts or queries, you can post them in the comment section or contact our expert advisors directly for detailed guidance. The contact details are mentioned in the description below. We also provide professional services for filing ADT-1. So, if you need our assistance, you can visit our website and send us your request. The link to the website is also given in the description box. If you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe for more informative content ahead. Watch our other videos as well.